Hello and welcome back to another WorkSource Spokane training module. This is AI 104, and this is the fourth module in our AI series. As we go into our fourth part of this AI series, in this module, we're going to be discussing how to leverage AI to aid you in the modern job search. Just like with some of our other modules, our agenda for AI 104 is going to be fairly brief. Our entire focus for this module is using AI to aid in the job search. So we're going to talk a little bit about what that looks like and how that job search is conducted. And then we're going to get into the nitty gritty. And I actually have a job description that I pulled from Indeed. We're going to use Copilot. I'm going to do a live demonstration of using Copilot to analyze that job description. I'm also going to use Copilot to take that same job description and that same analysis and rewrite my resume using those keywords. And then we're going to finish up by talking about how to use Copilot and AI to help us conduct mock interviews. And I'm also going to demonstrate what that looks like. At the end, we'll wrap up with a short little conclusion and let you know what the next steps are. So to kick things off, let's talk about using AI for job searching. AI, or as we call it for short AI, but artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is revolutionizing the job search process. And the reason why that is because it has provided us with a lot of tools that enhance and streamline the different parts of looking for a job. Now, there are specific websites and AI-powered platforms that are engineered and geared towards helping you find the right job, analyzing job descriptions, help analyzing your resume. There are a lot of different aspects to it. And as you are already probably in the job seeking process, you already know that there's a lot of facets to looking for employment. So why not use some of these new tools to enhance that job search, to enhance your own human capabilities in making the job search that much easier and that much less stressful, but also that much more successful. Now, these AI-powered platforms and the AI tools that we're going to talk about can help analyze job description to identify key skills or qualifications or keywords. They can also help job seekers like yourself tailor your applications and, by extension, your resumes and cover letters to those specific job descriptions. Now, this isn't an unusual thing. We've been talking about this for many years, but now we're able to use AI tools to help us with that. AI can assist in optimizing resumes and cover letters by suggesting relevant keywords, by also improving the format. One of the things that we see commonly isn't so much that the resume is bad or wrong in any way, but it might just not be in the right format for whatever industry you might be trying to use it for. And we might be able to highlight certain strengths on our resumes using AI tools. Additionally, we can use AI to help us conduct mock interviews. The resume and the application, that's only part of the process. The resume is the key that gets you in the door, but you still have to get through the interview in order to secure the job. Well, now we can use tools like Gemini and Copilot to actually help us by conducting mock interviews. And that in turn helps you practice your answers, practice your interviewing skills, help practice that STAR technique. Now, these advancements have made the job search process more efficient, more targeted, and just not a little bit important, but a lot important, more accessible. And that, in turn, will improve your chances of landing that ideal job. So let's start off by using AI to help us analyze the job description. And one of the reasons why we want to do this is because of something that we call Applicant Tracking Systems, or ATS. Now, if you've taken some of our other workshops, you've probably heard us refer to Applicant Tracking Systems before. It's not a big secret that most employers use applicant tracking systems. Most employers receive far too many applications, far too many resumes for a single hiring manager or a single recruiter to be able to go through all of them effectively without bias. So a lot of our major employers are going to use applicant tracking systems just to help them filter through all the applications that they receive on a regular basis. Now, the way these applicant tracking systems help filter out unqualified applicants is by using a method we call keyword matching. And I've explained this in some of my other modules, and you've probably heard this before, but chances are, if you are applying for a job, especially online in the modern world, it's going to go through an applicant tracking system. That applicant tracking system isn't going through and reading everything in your resume. It is, but it's only looking for very specific things, specific key words. Typically, an employer that lists a job in an applicant tracking system is going to tell that applicant tracking system what keywords to look for. And then that applicant tracking system is going to read your resume and application and look for those same keywords. Now, generally speaking, we're going to be trying to achieve a 70% match or higher of keywords. That means that of all the skills and qualifications that the employer's looking for, I'm trying to match at least 70% of those skills, qualifications, and keywords. If I can match better, even better for me. You're never going to get a 100% perfect match, but we're going to try to get as close as we can. Now, one way that we can do that is by using keywords. This is why we want to write targeted resumes for each and every single job that we apply for. Well, how do you know what keywords an employer is looking for? I'm not psychic, and I doubt you are either, so chances are you're not actually going to know what keywords an employer is looking for, but we're going to use our best educated guesses to try to figure that out. And the best way to do that is by looking at the job description itself. Now, I have an entire module, it would be our Advanced Digital Literacy 6 job hunting, that talks about keywords and how to find keywords in a job description. And it's not easy. It's not an easy process. It requires a lot of reading and a lot of analyzing. Well, now we can use AI to do all that reading and analyzing for us. We can actually have AI read a job description and then tell us what the keywords are. Now, I already have a job description that I picked out this morning for exactly this, and I'm going to demonstrate what that looks like here on the next slide. All right, so we're going to be using Copilot to assist us with analyzing a job description. So I'm here on the website copilot.microsoft.com, and I'm going to be using the text-based functions for all of this. I'm going to do my best to try to demonstrate all of the key components to a good effective prompt like we talked about in the previous modules. So the prompt that I've kind of crafted to kind of kick this exercise off, let me get that copy and paste it over here. Imagine that you're a career coach assisting me with finding a new job. I want to apply for a job as a battery builder. I need help analyzing a job description and identifying any keywords, skills, and qualifications. Here's the job listing, and then I'm going to copy and paste the job listing here. But I wanted to point out this particular section first because you should be able to, just from this short little paragraph, be able to identify all of the different components of a good, effective prompt. We have a goal. What is our goal? Analyzing a job description and identifying keywords. We have context. What is the context? Imagine you're a career coach assisting me with finding a new job. What is also part of that context? I want to apply for a job as a battery builder. That word battery builder, that's an important part of that. Those words help provide some of that background detail. We have a source here as the job listing. And then I might put in an expectation of what I want the results to look like. But at least in this particular instance, that's not as important as it is just getting the keywords, skills, and qualifications. So let's go ahead and copy up the job description here. I'm doing this way rather than using the URL, just so we can kind of see what the words actually are. If we just do the URL, that's a little bit more difficult. Now we're going to go Shift Enter to give myself a new line of text and Control V to paste. There we go. So we have the whole job description right here. This is a job description coming from Indeed. I didn't want to put the whole Indeed URL in here because that might not play nice with our demonstration, but this is a company, Max Amps Lithium Batteries out of Spokane, Washington. And because I myself do a little bit of work with LiPo batteries and some of my hobbies, this actually does kind of interest me. So watch out. I may be looking for a new career here soon, especially if this module fails. We'll see how this works. So let's go ahead and give this to Copilot and see what Copilot comes back with. So we submit that to Copilot, and Copilot's already giving us a response. Let's break down this job description to highlight the key components that will help you craft a compelling application for the battery builder role at Max Amps. Company overview. Okay, that does kind of help a little bit. Knowing what the company is all about is sometimes an important part of securing the interview or securing the job. If you want to demonstrate to an employer that you're genuinely interested in working for them, it might behoove you to know a little bit about them. This company does a lot of work with UAVs, UASs, which is just short for drone. Unmanned aerial vehicle, unmanned aerial, I don't know what the S stands for, but I'm imagining it's probably something similar, maybe submersible, aerospace and robotics. Those are all going to use LiPo batteries, lithium ion batteries. So that sounds great. Core values, customer first, attention to quality, solution oriented, commitment, persistence. Okay, good. What keywords and phrases did Copilot pull out for us? Manufacturing prep work, battery voltage checking, assembling battery packs, soldering, wire cutting, stripping, tinning, packaging and shipping battery packs. Now, out of these 6 keywords that we see here, I already know at least 5 of them are on my actual resume right now. So none of those are going to be too difficult for me to change up when I ask Copilot to rewrite my resume. Basic skills and qualifications, hand tool knowledge. Do you know how to use a screwdriver? Do you know how to turn a wrench? Manufacturing experience, preferred but not required. Soldering skills, preferred but not required. And then we got schedule and pay. We don't care about that. Benefits, don't care about that. Experience, there we go. Assembly, 1 year, preferred. So we want to make sure that we highlight that on our resume and application. And then we have a core values match section. Make sure to emphasize your fit with the company's core values. So remember that core value section that we saw there at the beginning. This is all part of that company research. When I go to write my cover letter, or if I get into a phone screening or eventually get to the interview, these might be a couple of those key points that I want to make sure that I highlight if I tell a story using the STAR method or whatever that might be. I want to make sure that I emphasize that I embody the company's core values, because that's going to help me secure the job. All right, so now that we've had AI assist us in identifying the skills and the keywords and the qualifications for the job, Now we still have more to do. We have to rewrite our resumes and our cover letters to incorporate all those skills and keywords that we just identified. And you're probably familiar with some of this process, and if you're not, I would encourage you to take a look through some of our other Job Hunter series modules as we explain a bit more about how to rewrite our resumes using those same keywords. There are a lot of skills that I have. I'm a very skilled individual, but the way I describe those skills in my words might not be the same way that an employer describes that skill in their words. And even though I might list out all the skills and abilities that the employer's looking for, if I'm not using the same verbiage, if I'm not using the exact same keywords that they're using for, I'm not going to get that percentage match. And the applicant tracking system is going to reject my application. So I want to rewrite my resume. I want to rewrite my cover letter using those same keywords we just identified. But I'm not going to stop there. I'm also going to make sure that Copilot or whichever AI I choose to use also rewrites my resume to make it applicant tracking system friendly. And you might hear us talk about some things like this when we use certain templates or certain resume building services. They might not always get the formatting just right to where an applicant tracking system is going to be able to read that resume effectively. So I'm going to specifically ask Copilot to rewrite my resume to also be ATS friendly. Let's take a look at what this looks like. Okay, so here we are back with Copilot, and now that Copilot has identified the keywords and skills and abilities within the job description that we gave it, now I'm going to feed it my resume, and I'm going to ask Copilot to rewrite my resume using those same keywords and skills, and also format my resume to make it applicant tracking system friendly. So I'm going to go ahead and do just that. I'm going to go ahead and select my section here to message Copilot, and I'm going to say, okay, now that we've identified those skills and abilities, rewrite my resume using the same that were just identified. Here is my resume. And I just pulled together a list of jobs and job descriptions that I've had in the past. I pulled all these together from just random sources around various different websites like LinkedIn and worksourcewa.com. So this is not my actual resume. It's not formatted in any specific way. I'm literally just copying and pasting all of this together. And now we're going to ask Copilot to give us the rewrite. Here is a revised version of your resume incorporating the identified keywords and skills for the battery builder position. And then we take a look here, and it's actually listing all of this out, all of my different jobs that I've had, the skills and abilities within each of those jobs, and it's rewriting all of these with the keywords that we identified. And then it says, in your cover letter, you can emphasize your experience with basic hand tools, problem-solving skills, and commitment to quality and persistence that align with their core values. And that's the important part that we talked about in that previous section that we had, where we were looking at the job description and Copilot specifically called out the core values of the company, because we want to make sure that we align not just with the skills and qualifications, but also the company culture and their core values. Now that we've analyzed the job description and rewritten our resume with the key words from that job description, we're not done yet. After applying for the job, hopefully We've gone through the whole process, we've hit all the keywords we've needed to hit, and we've secured ourselves an interview. Now we need to practice for that interview. Getting yourself to this part of the process is great, but we still have to close the deal by nailing the interview itself. So we're going to use AI to help us with doing mock interviews. Now, we can use these mock interviews as a way to practice our storytelling techniques using the STAR method. We can use these mock interviews just to get some experience with answering questions in an interview-like format. There's a lot of different ways that we can go about this. And depending on what kind of job you're going for, what kind of role it is, what industry it's in, what this looks like for you is going to be different than what it looks like for me or anybody else. But I'm going to do my best to try to demonstrate how to create a mock interview using AI, using the same description and resume that we've been working with in this module. Okay, so now that we've gotten our resume rewritten to emphasize the skills and abilities that this particular company is looking for, the last thing that I want to do to help myself prepare for this job is to use Copilot to help me do a mock interview. Now, there are a lot of different ways that I could go about doing this. I'm going to do this mostly text-based for right now, just because that's going to be the easiest way to demonstrate this. And I've already pre-written a prompt to help me with this. It's going off of that very same style as what I used for the very first prompt. Imagine that you're the hiring manager and you're interviewing me for the battery builder position. That's going to be our context for this particular prompt. And in a little bit, it is kind of the source for the prompt as well, because we're referencing the battery builder position. Here's the goal. Can you create a few mock interview questions that I can use to practice? And then the expectation. Provide me with 5 relevant questions and ideal answers using my work experience. So let's see what Copilot gives us. Absolutely. Here are 5 mock interview questions for the battery builder position at max amps, along with ideal answers that leverage your work experience. What motivated you to apply for the battery builder position? I've always been fascinated by UAVs and aerospace and robotics, and Max Amp's reputation for quality and innovation aligns with my career aspirations. My previous roles required a keen attention to detail and strong problem-solving skills, which I believe would be valuable in assembling and maintaining high-quality battery packs. I'm excited about the opportunity to contribute to a company that puts customer satisfaction and quality first. Can you describe your experience with basic hand tools and any relevant manufacturing experience? Well, while working as a digital skills instructor, I often utilize basic hand tools to set up and maintain computer equipment. I'm always getting myself dirty or banged up by working with screwdrivers and various other things. In fact, if you've watched some of my other videos, I literally did an entire demonstration where I built a 3D printer with Sam, my counterpart here at WorkSource, using simple hand tools. So not only can I answer this question, I literally have an entire video that shows all of it. And then, of course, as my role as a technical consultant back when I was repairing phones, I was constantly doing troubleshooting and actually opening up those phones to repair screens, replace batteries, things like that. I may not have any direct manufacturing experience, but I have a lot of technical experience, and specifically hands-on technical experience that would definitely help me in this role. And we can see that there are some other questions that are added in here. How do you ensure quality and accuracy in your work? Can you provide an example of a time when you demonstrated persistence in the face of challenge? And how do you handle repetitive tasks? How do you keep yourself motivated? All of these are great questions that could be asked at an actual interview. And by being able to not only tie these questions into my own work experience, but also be able to tell a story with each of these questions, it's just going to make me that much better in the actual interview, because not only am I going to be able to nail some of these questions by giving good stories to go along with it, but I'm also going to come off as a lot less nervous because I've been practicing these answers. So just to summarize what we talked about here in this module, our entire focus has been on using AI to help us in the modern job hunt. And I was able to demonstrate how I was able to use Copilot to analyze a job description that was pulled directly from Indeed. And Copilot was able to give me keywords, skills, and qualifications for that job. But we didn't stop there. We also used Copilot to rewrite my resume using those same keywords and skills that it had just identified. And then we wrapped up by helping us create some good mock interview questions. Copilot is able to create some good, robust questions that I can use now to practice my answers for an interview if I wanted to go for that particular job. And not only was I able to get some good questions, but also good ideal answers to go along with those questions to help me practice that. Now, just as we conclude everything here, I hope you are encouraged by what I was able to demonstrate in this video by using Copilot and our other AI tools to assist us in the job search. I'll see you in the next video.